Hi, I'm Irv Miller.
And I'm Melia Allen among Nature's Bounty at Burris Farm Market in Loxley, Alabama.
Today I'm going to make acorn squash and maple pecan soup. I'll be using turnips, new potatoes, portobello mushrooms, and scallions. And I'll show you how easy and quick it is to make several versions of a southern favorite, the gratin. Stay with us for Flavors of the Coast.
Support for Flavors of the Coast is provided by Jansen Quality Construction, family-owned since 1997. Jansen Craftsmanship, Jansen Quality, Jansen Value. Jansen Quality Construction, remodeling specialists serving the Gulf Coast. The Canandaigua Wine Company, introducing fine wines from Covey Run and Columbia. Canandaigua, quality wines for the enjoyment of everyday life. ESP Natural Gas, your energy choice for warm, comfortable heat, endless hot water, and precise cooking. ESP Natural Gas, the natural choice. And by Kesco, your restaurant equipment source in Northwest Florida for more than 20 years, providing cooking and refrigeration equipment as well as design, layout, delivery, and installation services. Welcome to Flavors of the Coast, your ticket to the food, the flavor, and the fun of some of our favorite destinations from New Orleans to Tampa Bay. And now, here's award-winning executive chef Irv Miller.
Welcome to Flavors of the Coast. I'm Irv Miller. There's a chill in the air along the Gulf Coast, and with the cooler weather, our thoughts turn from sweet corn and watermelon to squash, turnips, and pumpkins. I'll be creating some recipes from the best of the fall seasonal vegetables from a local farmer's market. Now let's join Melia Allen on a road trip to Burris Farm Market.
Bountiful best describes the harvest here at Burris Farm Market in Loxley, Alabama. Actually, Loxley is among a cluster of small towns, including Foley and Fairhope, that entertain thousands of visitors with quaint sidewalk bistros and terrific antiques. But today, it's all about fresh produce, and a favorite stop among locals and visitors is the Burris Farm Market here in Loxley. Owner Greg Burris spends much of his time growing his very own produce.
I've always been around the farms, and it just started as a hobby in the backyard by an accident. Kay sent me to the nursery to buy some azaleas, and I came back with 50 peach trees. And she said, no, that's not what I had in mind. And she said, go back, and I went back and got 50 more. So with 100 peach trees in the backyard, we kind of launched this business. We grow Irish potatoes and pecans and sweet corn and snap beans and butter beans and peas. Baldwin County is a great produce county, and we have neighbors that grow lots of good produce. We try to grow things that they don't grow. We grow about 25 different kinds of crops throughout the year. We try to represent Baldwin County, and we try to share this with people from all over the United States and all over the world.
To prove his point, Greg took us out to see a few of his own homegrown crops. These beautiful satsumas are perfectly ripe. Greg says the skin is supposed to be green. Some growers soak the skin prior to bringing it to the market to turn it orange. We ate several right off the tree, slightly sweet with a heady aroma and very, very juicy. I also got a lesson in strawberry planting. The tiny plants arrive in the fall and have to be planted within a few days. These should be ready by February or March. After we left the field, Greg took us back to the market to show us how to find the freshest local produce at Burris.
Our signs right here. If it says Burris grown, I grow it.
On one of your farms?
On our farm.
Okay.
If it says Baldwin County, it's one of my neighbors, and they grow some great produce. We just literally hand pick all this produce, put it on the truck, and bring it to the market. And it's super fresh. Sometimes the product is picked and consumed by lunchtime.
That's incredible.
By our customers. We love our customers. We try to treat them well. We have them a bakery now, and Kay's in there, and I want to introduce you to her because she's the driving force behind the market. She tells people that I'm out playing on the tractor while she's in here working, and then she really has a job keeping this place together.
The bakery side of the Burris operation takes the fresh produce from blackberries and peaches to zucchini and pecans and creates Burris baked breads, large gooey breakfast rolls, pecan pies, and an assortment of just baked dumplings and cobblers for customers to take home or enjoy warm right here in the bakery. How did you get involved in this part or this aspect of the produce business?
We had a lot of overripe peaches, and we had to find a place to go with them. Peaches and ice cream was the #1 choice, and then we moved on to peach cobbler. Peach breads right here behind you, and it just kind of grew from there.
I can smell the cobbler in the oven now, but you also make some other things, pies, cakes. What else do you make?
We make our fabulous pecan pie, apple pie, key lime pies, the cheesecakes with 3 or 4 different toppings.
And those strawberries, I saw strawberry
Yes,
cheesecake. Now, those are
strawberry
all grown on the Burris farms, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's outstanding. And the pecans too?
Well, they're local pecans. Pecan pie is my mom's recipe. We just kind of enlarged it from there so we can make more pies at one time. It's just your everyday Thanksgiving pecan pie.
Oh, they look delicious, and I did get to sample some, and I look forward to sampling some of the cobbler later. You know, the warm harvest time of fall is a great opportunity to try out new and interesting recipes, especially with colorful and seasonal foods like these. Leafy collard greens or satsumas, squash, okra, or even dark purple eggplant. Irv will definitely have a great time going through this cornucopia of items to choose from. But as for me, I think I'll stick around here in the kitchen and taste some of this still warm apple dumpling.
Thanks, Melia, and don't forget to bring some of those fresh vegetables back for me too. A grocery store is fine for some produce, but to find a great selection of what's available in your area, visit your local farmer's market. Today, I'm going to take acorn squash and some of my favorite vegetables, turnips, mushrooms, and new potatoes. I'm going to make a few dishes for you. I'm going to start with my acorn squash and maple pecan soup. I'm just going to heat up a little skillet here, or a soup pot. I have a cast iron one here today which conducts heat excellent. I'm going to put a little bit of butter in here. And then I'm going to saute some onions to start the soup. Now what I would like to do is saute the onions for about a minute till they get translucent and some of the flavors start to come out. And then I'm going to take some of my butternut squash, some of my acorn squash that I have already put in the oven at about 400 degrees and a little bit of water. I cut it in half and put it in a sheet pan, and I baked it about an hour. And then I'm going to show you how to scoop it out. And this fresh pulp, the fresh meat, is really the basis of this soup. Now you could certainly use butternut squash, turban squash, any of your favorite squash. Butternut is an excellent squash for this soup. And you can treat it the same way by roasting it in the oven with a little bit of water for about an hour. And once you've scooped out all the meat, you want to add it to the onions, like so. And this is a great soup for the holidays, with Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas time coming up. Now the unique thing about this soup is the maple syrup. I'm going to add some of the syrup as the acorn squash starts to cook down a little bit further. Now this is a really good maple syrup too. When you're shopping for maple syrups, try to find one that's like 100% maple syrup, and try and stay away from the lesser expensive ones, the ones that have a lot of corn syrup in them. These are more expensive, however the taste is incredible. Now for this soup, I just decided I wanted to do kind of a sweet and kind of a spicy soup. So I am going to, when I put this in the food processor to process it, I'm going to add some hot apple cider, and it's got a little bit of a spice to it, and very seasonal in nature for the fall. So as you can see, it already has absorbed a lot of the maple syrup. So I'm just going to transfer it to a bowl and then put it in the food processor. This is a very simple soup to make. The hardest part, or the longest part, is actually the roasting time of the squash. And if you do that in advance, you can put together a soup for the holidays in absolutely no time at all. So as you can see, I put the pureed, or I should say the cooked pulp, in the food processor. And I'm just going to thin it out with a little bit of apple cider, just till it's the right texture, right consistency. Now you could use chicken stock if you wanted a more savory soup, salt and pepper, a little bit more garlic, or actually garlic. I didn't put any garlic in this because I did not want it to be savory. I wanted it to be kind of sweet. I'm just going to add just a little bit more. And it's got a beautiful texture to it already. And a little bit of salt to bring out some of the flavors. A little bit of cracked pepper. And I just want to check that consistency of that one more time. I've got about 2 cups in here. I'm just going to add the rest. So it's got a nice texture to it. And I'm just going to taste it just a little bit, see where I am. Delicious. I'm going to add a little bit more salt. It does have kind of a sweet taste to it. It's very unique. Now what I've done also to finish this soup is I've taken a little bit of maple syrup and I've reduced it with a cinnamon stick, and that gave it kind of a nice spicy taste to it. So I'm just going to finish this soup off now with just a little knob of butter, a couple knobs of butter, because I like that buttery kind of richness to it. It's strictly optional though. It smells delicious. Now here's how I would finish it off. I've taken a couple squash, and I picked some uniform squash, 2 of them, and I've done the same thing. I sliced them in half, I roasted them in the oven in a pan with a little bit of water, and it took about 45 minutes to an hour. The smaller ones take about 45 minutes. The larger ones, like I have over here, took more like an hour, hour and 15 minutes. And this is a great thing to do for your party or your holidays. Now, if you would like more of a space for your soup in here, you could actually scoop this out a little bit more. And make the hole a little bit